When it comes to May, it's really the month of two. It's either too hot, too cold, too wet, or too dry. But Josh, how is that impacting the summer crops?
Well, we've had a really crazy spring. I think it's been one of those, but we say that every year. Every spring's kind of crazy, every spring's kind of unique, brings a unique set of challenges. This year, it's kind of had all of those twos all at once. Yeah. You know, we've been really cold. Our soil temperatures took a really long time to warm up, and for most of our summer crops, we plant based on soil temperatures, not based on calendar date. It was basically last week when we really started running on some of our secondary summer crops. After we got the corn in the ground, we start talking about milo, we start talking about soybeans, and even into cotton down in cotton country. We've seen a lot of planters going through the field recently, good soil temperatures. Actually, interesting note, from yesterday until a week prior, we actually warmed up 12-degree soil temperatures in just a week time. So, you know, kind of like you said, we blinked our eye and we're already at the beginning of May, and we start running into that time frame where we want to be wrapping up some of our summer crops. That way we don't run into poor conditions on into June and July when we go through those really critical growth stages.
When is it really too late to put in the first round of summer crops and just write it off and start thinking about double crops?
When we talk about our full season, we really would like, for like grain sorghum and soybean, we'd really like those be in about the 10th, 15th of May. That kind of May 10th, May 15th is a soft deadline. It's never really shut, but that's when we would like to see transitioning, like you said, from a full season to just go ahead and do summer crop, because we get mid-June. If we get a good timely rain, that's also a really good time. And some folks, especially the folks out on the western side of the state, see that as a better time to plant. Now I say that, and then you talk about soybean production on the east side of the state. They rarely have gotten started by now, and really there is no shutting time for them, because they do get those more timely rains in June and July, because they aren't nearly as hot. They are hot, but not western hot, and they have that humidity. The folks on the eastern side of the state, let's say east of Tulsa, can pretty much plant most of May in soybean. There are some kind of iffier weeks that kind of get, once again, in that mid to late July that we'd prefer not to be, but there's a lot more flexibility on that side of the state. Where the western side of the state, about the 10th or 15th, where we want to be kind of shutting off summer crops, look towards that double crop production.
That's on the eastern part of the state. Let's move to the west side of I-35. There's been a lot of talk about sorghum this year. What should producers really be focusing on if they want to have a successful crop?
We always have said on grain sorghum, the first 30 days after emergence is will make or break a crop. A couple of things have to happen. We got to get enough resources to get good green material up top, but we also need enough resources to get good root development, because that root development is what really helps sorghum in those really hot and dry conditions just sustain. Once you get it in the ground, we hope to get emergence 7 to 10 days. At that 7 to 10 days, we really want to make sure everything's kind of optimized for that next 30 days to kind of send it off on its path. And that's making sure we don't have any insects kind of feeding on it early, making sure we have no weeds, you know, kind of competing for resources, and making sure anything nutrient-wise, and particularly water, are non-limiting during that period.
So let's briefly take a look at something that we really haven't talked much about this year. It's canola. How has the crop looked this year?
It's actually looked pretty good. We don't have a lot of acres, but you know, pictures, and what we've seen is the canola that has looked good coming out looks great. We are starting to see some aphids in pockets here and there, so growers need to be aware of that. It's a good looking crop right now, and we just have to kind of bring it home. Like we always talk about in canola, it's kind of getting over that hump. Once you get over that hump, you need to manage everything down the home stretch.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Josh Lofton, Cropping Systems Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.